officially pressed some buttons.
Push the buttons.
Now we're in theme song zone right here, but it's just about to be over. Oh hey everybody, it's the CrunchCast. We're back after a little bit of a delay there. Sorry about that. We've had a lot of things going on in lives. Maybe we'll discuss a little bit of that tonight. We got a bit of a packed house though. People keep dropping out. We got John Henderson here. He's got his camera. We got Joseph, and he's marches on the ZBrush there. Lee. And Max Davenport is drawing a lady with some kind of armor from the future and the past. But yeah. What's going on, guys? How you doing, John?
Well, I'm just looking at Segway Safety Cone Girl and realizing she couldn't have any more hair than that because her helmet is fused to her head or something.
Already taking him down.
Oh, it's gonna be like that.
You need to be a better artist.
All right, so let's start with what's everybody playing these days?
Oh, games? Yeah, actually,
yeah.
That's good because I wanted to talk about games because so many good games have just came out. Like today,
Yep.
Blood Dragon came out.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I need to get that right now.
Oh god, yeah, I haven't bought it yet, but it's on my wish list. I'm gonna pick it up. It's only $15. It's just a matter of I got time to play this now. But man, does that game look cool?
Oh man,
I love the nostalgia.
I just saw Laser Dragons and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Or Laser, whatever it was.
The laser Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's dinosaurs and that's craziness. But yeah, if anybody doesn't know, Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon is a new. It doesn't require Far Cry 3. It's just a whole standalone game for like $15, and it's a really nutty throwback kind of game. You could check. I think the best thing to check is IGN did a first 15 minutes of video.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you should get pumped.
With that and BioShock Infinite, everybody's all about that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I haven't played it yet, but I watched somebody play quite
Yeah,
a bit.
I have not started it yet. It's kind of sad.
I don't know if we can talk about BioShock.
Bioshock
No.
is one of those games that you really can't talk about because everything's so interwoven together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just say I like it. Go play it.
Yeah. Definitely.
I highly recommend Tomb Raider. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, the new Tomb Raider. That's one of the
Yep.
first one I've seen in a while. It's like, I might have to get this one. Looks really good.
I would probably put it a little bit above Uncharted 3.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. I thought it was
Really?
It definitely broke new ground. Yeah, I was like, because Tomb Raider comes out for like a while, then she goes away. Laura goes away, then Nathan Drake comes along and makes it better, and I think Tomb Raider comes back and made Nathan Drake, kind of like involved Nathan Drake, because Nathan Drake you can only climb so many places, whereas Laura Croft can climb everywhere. Kind of like
That makes her immediately a better hero. How many
Yeah.
places can you climb?
Well, I'll tell you, Eric can climb all kinds of places too. From Assassin's Creed.
Oh man, yeah.
But he's not as sexy.
But he has a sprint.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you're saying like more like an open worldness than sort of like a
Yeah.
quick time. You can climb here and there.
Yeah, I have to say though, the puzzles in Tomb Raider were really, really well done. Some of the puzzles were really well done. It's the first game in a long time which I played nonstop.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
really had fun with it. Yeah,
You might enjoy Infinite.
yeah. Well, that's after XCOM, and then after Crisis 3, then I get to BioShock.
There you go.
Oh man.
I mean,
You
while
have
we're
it all
talking
planned out.
about- Oh.
Yeah, and somewhere in there is Assassin's Creed 3 somewhere.
Ah.
I couldn't really get into Crisis 3 so much. I liked the first two, but the third, it was like, wow, everything is amazing, and everything you did looked cool. And that was really the driving force to keep playing it for me. I was like, oh, that's cool, but I didn't really care for the gameplay, I guess. I don't know. But that's just me.
I can.
Yep.
I think the art direction for it was pretty strong, but.
Oh, yeah. It was one of those games I wanted to play just to look at it.
Yeah. Like, it just seemed like it was just the amount of quality within it was surprising.
Oh, and then also in Injustice. I've been playing Injustice too.
Yeah, I've been hearing good
What is
stuff
that?
about that. That's that new DC fighting game made by the people
Yeah.
that made Mortal Kombat, so they know what they're
Yeah.
doing.
The fighter.
Yeah.
Fighter with lots of plot and story.
Whoa.
It's about Superman going evil again.
Darn you, Superman. Yeah, I heard what a lot of people have been raving about is that finisher, I guess, that he has, where he punches the person up into space and then flies up ahead of them and punches them back down to Earth. I've seen that featured
Yeah.
so many times now. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I think the best one I've seen so far is well, I like Batman's one, and where he calls the car, and then not Robin, what's his name? Nightwing. Yeah, his one is pretty cool too.
I have to YouTube those up or something.
Yeah, and then who else? Oh, the absolute best one is Aquaman's finisher. Is the best one because he stabs the character and then he holds him up into the air and then the shark comes out of nowhere and grabs the character and swims off with him. And that was just amazing. Yeah.
Aquaman is pretty good.
Guess what I heard? I saw that on Reddit.
Aquaman is Combo City. It's such
man.
he is a juggle character. Once you get the guy in the air, you can keep him up there for a while with Aquaman.
Aquaman?
Yep.
It's a little bit hard to adjust a little bit, you know?
Well, since I was not introduced to Aquaman, previously because I don't really read comic books that much anymore. I was like, oh, Aquaman, let me try this, and he was Juggle City, and he's great to play. Yep.
Yeah, Aquaman can, believe it or not, be a badass character. Peter David's run on him way back in the early '80s, and then his treatment on Justice League, the cartoon on Cartoon Network. He was a total badass in that.
It's just typically, from my own memories, he tended to be pretty lame.
Mm-hmm.
But that's good that they gave him
Okay, I just saw
Yeah.
that.
better treatment.
I actually
the-
just linked it. You can look on YouTube for
the
Injustice
shark
All
finisher?
Super Moves. Yeah, that's great. A
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
tidal wave comes.
Yeah. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. There's some fantastic moves in that game. Yeah. He is literally combo central.
Yeah, I just saw Batman run over the guy with the car move. That's pretty silly.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So yeah, have you guys anybody playing Minecraft right now?
Maybe like a month ago.
They've been updating it a lot lately, adding all kinds of crap to the game now. They just added horses and just bunches of other shit. That's the one thing with Minecraft. I'll stop playing it for a while, but then they'll do an update. I'll play it again just for a little while. Ooh, look at all this neat stuff, and then stop. That's my relationship with Minecraft.
Oh yeah, and there's that dude who killed Superman. I don't know what his name
Doomsday.
is. Doomsday. His ender.
His
is really
finisher is
great,
pretty
too.
funny. He
Yeah,
beats him
he-
through the earth.
He beats him through the earth. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they go pretty grand scale with those finishers. I mean, like Superman going out to space, that one going through Earth, and Flash runs around the world one time and then punches you in the face. I think that's funny that they go Earth scale for finishing moves.
Well, those guys are pretty super.
Yeah, Harley Quinn one isn't very good. I didn't like hers very much. It's just a cake that blows up. Yeah, Superman just punches you into the sky.
Is she in the cake?
Is she naked in the cake?
No. It's always weird what I think when they choose which heroes to put in things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Yeah, Lobo is a new
Oh,
character. They just announced it for new characters.
yeah, like Hawkwoman. Is she even like popular?
I don't know, but her voice,
Who?
Hawk Girl.
Hawk Girl,
Hawk
is it?
Girl,
or
that's it.
whatever.
What-
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. She's the voice. Okay, so her voice is Shepard, the female version. Because I heard the voice and I was like, oh, it's Commander Shepard. But, you know.
This is Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite character.
Yeah.
Fem Shep.
Yep.
I mean, every time I always wonder who's the guy. Like, yeah, who decides? Oh, let's get this dude in here, and it's like some weird off character. Like if they do a movie, it's like Hawkeye. He's like, yeah, just kind of on the side every once in a while. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna focus on Iron Man because he's fucking cool. There's these other guys on the side.
Yeah, remember when Iron Man wasn't cool?
I think so.
There's a long time when Iron Man was kind of boring.
You mean back like the old school comics in the '90s or something?
Yeah, well, before the movies and like a bunch of reboots in Marvel, Iron Man wasn't always all that.
I thought he was an interesting character, always, because he struggled with a lot of problems personally.
Sure,
You
I
know.
mean, the essence of him is how do you make a war profiteering, womanizing, alcoholic asshole into a hero? That was the essence of him, and yeah, and different writers have done great things with him. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there was as much of a mainstream outside the geek space truck with him since the movies, and now the movies is like, oh yeah, Iron Man.
Yeah, it seems characters kind of come and go. Like certain times, oh, this character's really hot right now. Like Batman is really hot right now, and
Right.
especially you look at the art that people make. People always make like a Batman or Wolverine or the Hulk or Iron Man. People love making Iron Man, especially cosplayers now, because it looks so cool.
When you put an Iron Man mask on, you can think and express yourself however you want, and no one will see it.
Yeah, and you're Iron Man. How cool is that? So how's you guys' game jobby lives going? Anything picking up, going down you can talk about?
I'm working on Space Hulk for a company called Full Control in Denmark, and it's going pretty good on that. Where I'm doing lots of things for them, and then we just they also have a Kickstarter that's just started up, so hopefully that goes through too. But that's going really good too.
Oh, right on. Is their Kickstarter live yet, or are they just
Yeah,
setting
it
up?
is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's called Jagged Alliance Flashback.
Oh yeah. I think
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing
Yeah.
that too. I didn't realize that.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I've been like watching it and watching the I like the fact that a lot of the guys are commenting on it, and there's like somebody actually made a trailer for the game already. Like a fan made a trailer. I thought that was like the coolest thing that he made is that they made a trailer already.
That's cool. If you got fan support, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a known title. I mean, you say Jagged Alliance, most people know that that's a game, at least. I mean, most gamers would.
It's certainly one of those franchises where there were a few people that really liked it, and it's one of those games where I classify it in games that inspire you to want to be a game developer.
Right. It's like Fallout. It doesn't matter if you hate Fallout or not, because so many people love it. It doesn't matter. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was weird though was when I was at GDC and I was demoing the Space Hulk at the GDC Play, there were so many people that would come up and be like, "Oh my fucking god, it's Space Hulk!" like this, screaming their heads off.
Oh yeah, people
And,
love that stuff, man. That
This
whole
one guy
Warhammer
this
thing.
one
huge.
guy looked like he had drool coming out of his mouth when he saw the game.
Uh-oh. He might have
And,
taken you home there, Lee.
Yeah, if you're working on anything Warhammer, there's always somebody for every little thing. They're like, I'm so into this little element, this type of character, or this
Yeah.
place, or that lore. That's it, because there's so
Yeah.
much of it. That's
Yeah.
cool that it has the following, but it also can be a little
Yeah.
scary when you got to make it perfect for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was at a party the other day, and I mentioned people were like, "What are you doing now?" I'm like, "Working on a game, a Space Hulk game," and they're like, "What? Can I come over and see it?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
Not
Going
yet."
to Lee's house.
No.
Party there.
Yeah.
Those licenses things, you got to be real particular with.
Yeah.
You can't get too creative with it. You got to follow things to the T. Even if John Jones was here, he could tell us a little bit about. He could chime in about when he worked on one of the Sesame Street games, about how particular they were about the characters looking exactly like they're supposed to look, and their exact
Their color palette.
specifications, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty neat.
Well, I have to say that, like we're working with Games Workshop, and there's certain things that don't exist, like on as an image form, and so
Right.
usually I'm asked to make something, and it goes to Games Workshop, and they can either say yes or no. So it's been really good, positive. They've been giving feedback to me, you know,
That's excellent.
because
Nice.
I've heard that Games Workshop was difficult, but I haven't had that experience yet. So
Nah,
that's
well,
really cool.
I worked with them on Warhammer, and they didn't seem too difficult. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the thing about that was most Warhammer stuff is all the figurines.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the basic idea of all the characters, but the environment stuff is just there's just nothing there. The only thing you have for environment is just whatever people have built for the little tabletop games. You know, some are pretty awesome, but nothing was ever official. So we just had to figure everything out for the most part. And one of the bigger things was the Chaos City, the Inevitable City. Apparently, the thing behind it was there were no pictures of it at all because the lore stated that no one has ever seen it or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it went.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to completely figure that out. It turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, I've had nothing but really good things with Games Workshop, so they've been really supportive and like helping me out. Like I would send them a concept, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I think it should go this way or this way," and I'm like, "Oh, that's great. That's feedback is what I want. You know, as an artist, we want feedback."
Right.
So they've been really good.
Excellent.
That's cool.
I had no idea you were doing concept for this. You're like actually arting up the franchise. For all I
Doing
knew,
what?
you were just doing Unity stuff and effects. But
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna be exciting if I get to work on Jagged Alliance also. They've been talking about destructible environments, and so you know, I could just see myself going crazy on just blowing stuff up.
Wow.
you dig it the most.
Didn't like
Yeah. What's everybody else up to?
Well, we did just wrap up our Ruby project at work, but then I got laid off, so that kind of sucked.
Ooh.
Actually, I saw the Ruby demo on Bill's demo reel. Looked pretty badass, actually.
Oh, he put it in his reel? I'll
Yeah.
have to check that out.
Is the studio still going?
Yeah, the studio's still up for now. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully they can stay afloat. I've had this happen before where I just am paid a lot, so I'm the first to go a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
That's just part of how it works. It's happened to me before. It'll happen again. Darn me and all my experience. But if you're looking for someone that knows how to work in CryEngine and DX11 features and Unreal Engine,
Those wanting to work for free, let them know. Chris.
yeah.
We're supposed to got 2 CryEngine projects in Austin right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard.
That's a good thing. Big one.
Jeez. I hate how Vimeo's audio works. That little bar at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
I turn it all the way down and it's still louder than you guys. There's no just mute button. It's pretty annoying. Yeah, Bill, he's pretty good at the FX. It was one of the
He's awesome. Yeah.
one of the main reasons we hired it. When he has demo reel, he showed us some of those. Well, basically some of the stuff that's in there now. Those effects he did for those finishers
Yeah.
are just so awesome. Like, man, that shit's good. He did a great job. But yeah, besides that, I ain't doing shit.
Oh, he took it out.
So are they? Are you just going through the whole portfolio thing again, or are you just taking some time out,
Oh, me?
reflecting?
You know, I got a lot of money saved. I'm one of those kind of guys. I don't really buy things. I just save my money. So in case of things like this, I'm always ready.
Yeah.
And I got a nice little chunk saved up that I can coast for a bit, which will give me time to kind of like what I did last time. Just give me time to be picky and find the right spot, or just kind of enjoy it for a while. Because I've basically been working no vacations pretty much the last 3.5 years. So I'm down to chill for a little bit. I just had some family.
Take a 2 weeks off.
Yeah, I just had some family come out and visit, and I'll probably go do some other travel as well. Just go see some people, that kind of stuff. It's finally, you get the time. Might as well enjoy it. And man, summer's coming in. Even though it snowed today here in Denver, it was like 80 degrees with the weekend. Snowed today, 6 inches. But no, I'm gonna enjoy the summer. It's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm so tired of just sitting in an office looking out at beautiful days all the time. Maybe my next job I should move somewhere where the weather stinks all the time, so I can't be sad looking out the window.
Seattle's pretty cool. I hear it's pretty much is raining.
Yeah, I like Seattle.
300 days of the year, it's pretty much raining.
I think Colorado has an opposite stat of it's like sunny 300 days of the year. Some ridiculous amount of days it's sunny. And
you guys don't get weather out there.
Huh?
You guys don't get that much weather out there.
Well, we get the weather, but it comes and it goes. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh no, it's raining, and then a little bit later, yay, it's sunny. So that's nice. I could dig that. It's like, oh, the sun went down, now it's freezing. Hey, how about you, Max? Can you talk about your new ventures, or is that a secret?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's funny because I've told some people at the office, like I told my directors and producers and stuff, but staff don't know yet. But I guess let's drop that bomb. So yeah, last week I accepted a new position at Hi-Res in Atlanta as a concept artist and artist. So pretty excited about that. Do my first big move to like a larger studio. So
yeah, that's cool. You can definitely draw the hell out of things.
Yeah. And you're going from the cold to the warm, right?
Yes, it's gonna be the biggest.
Yeah. Actually, where are you at now?
I'm in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
Yeah, so you're moving to the south right before summer.
Yep. Yeah. That was the big apprehension. I was just like, oh man.
Yeah, it's really humid down there.
So warm. Yeah. But no,
there's a lot of bugs.
I'm excited to move.
That's cool. I got an aunt that lives in Atlanta. Maybe you can hang out with her.
Yeah. I mean, all right.
I'm just kidding.
Hook up Auntie M.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's fun.
That's cool, man. Hey, didn't you do some book covers?
Like last year.
Yeah. Was it
sometime?
Did you do that one like my vagina is haunted or something like that?
No, that
Which
was.
one
I
did you
think
do?
that was like one of the related links on like it like showed up as like a related book. Which no, like the ones I did were like fantasy, like steampunk, and then there was like a related like, hey, you're checking out this book, you might also like the haunted vagina, and it's just like,
that's right. I just remember it being like a ridiculous kind of concept.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's like a whole. Apparently, that one author just has like a whole slew of those like crazy books.
Yeah. This person gets published?
You can just like you don't need to. You don't need to go through.
The haunted vagina. That's pretty ridiculous.
No, I didn't.
That wasn't you.
I didn't work on the haunted vagina.
Which one did you do?
It was a whole series of books. I guess I'll plug in. Whole series of books by author Joseph Robert Lewis. One of them was the Halcyon Trilogy, and there were a couple of other ones. They're pretty good. Yeah, he sent me a couple hard copies. He was really nice about that.
That's pretty cool, man. I think doing a book cover is a neat thing. Like, I always thought it would be neat to do an album cover for like a metal band or something.
Yeah.
Like a mini dream.
Yeah. It was my first like professional art experience, so it was kind of a fun little venture.
That's neat.
Yeah. I'd do it again.
What did you learn most from it?
Just kind of how I learned how to like establish myself as a freelance artist mostly. Just kind of working back and forth and like how to establish communication and maintain communication with like a client, and then kind of like how to deal with critique and like feedback and like payment issues as well. It was kind of just like this. I think it was the first book that he was publishing and trying to get more acclaim for. So that's why he wanted me to do a nice cover for it. So it was kind of a nice like ease in for both of us. yeah, it was very very fun experience.
Does he still write?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't do work for him anymore just because I'm busy with other stuff. But yeah, and yeah, I think I did 7 covers for him, and he's busting stuff out left and right.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's good stuff. If you're into fantasy and like steampunk stuff. So that's cool.
Right on. Hey, John Henderson, did you want to talk about your IGDA stuff, or?
Well, sure.
I wasn't sure if... This is a segue right into it. Let's shoehorn this conversation.
I'm primed for it. I have something to talk about it. It's all stuff that's going on in Austin in the next few months. We just today announced the date for the 7th annual summer picnic.
Woo!
So we have at Richard Garrett's property out on the lake. We've
Best
done-
place to network.
Yeah.
Or
when is
don't ask
that?
for job though.
Well, that's right. You need to. It's practice. Just know how to introduce yourself and talk about who you are without looking desperate, which is something that every professional needs to know how to do. And we always get some people that have just never had any practice at all, and it's like get right up in your face about it. We try to keep that to a minimum, and honestly, if it wasn't for the game developers and their families showing up, there really wouldn't be no reason to do it. It's really for them. It's the big deal event that we do once a year that brings everyone together. And like in years past, we've had upwards of 800 people show.
Wow.
And I mean, it's an all-day thing. It goes from 3 to 11 at night, and we have people that come in early, stay for dinner, and leave early. Those are usually the ones with kids. But then we have some that come right before dinner and then stay until 11 o'clock at night. But yeah, we have live music and barbecue and beer and ice cream, and not together, but and water slides and sprinklers and such. And this year we're going to have. Well, the thing about this property, if you haven't seen it, and again, if you don't live in Austin, you wouldn't have seen this before. But Richard has his own double-decker outdoor wooden Elizabethan-style theater on his property called the
Well, he did
Curtain.
go to space.
He went into space, and he's all into Society of Creative Anachronism stuff. So there's actually a Shakespeare theater company that plays on that stage, and this year we're going to have an opening act that's it's a DJ and rapper hip hop show.
That's neat.
Which will be really fun. To start off, we got a local rapper named Jagged who will do that, and the DJ will be a guy named Levon Lewis, who's he's actually a composer and sound designer. He worked on Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, but he got tired of living in Quebec City, Canada. He had 4 winters of that, and he's from Houston, so he decided he needed to move back to Texas. And he started a new company here, but he still does DJ. He's really good too, but they're going to open up for Brental Floss.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
People know who Brental Floss is. He's the guy who does What If Video Game Music Had Lyrics. And although lately he's been branching out into stuff like he did a BioShock song, and he just made up the whole thing because there isn't any real lyrical music to BioShock. He made it into this jazzy 40s big band sound. But we have that, and tickets are on sale. That'll be June 8th. $25 gets you all that stuff. But then the other thing that we're doing, it's mainly our chapter chair, Jennifer Bullard. We're doing another conference in the fall to fill the hole that was left by GDC Online, because that got officially moved out to California. They're doing GDC Next. I think it's still called Next. I don't know what that means really, other than the next GDC in California.
It's just a hot word to use this year.
Yeah, they didn't want to have it here, whatever. But we have the Palmer Center, which is the same place that South by Southwest Gaming Expo was, for 3 days. And actually this year, ACL, the Austin City Limits, the big outdoor festival in Zilker Park, is 2 different weekends. And this is intentionally overlapping the first Sunday of the first weekend. And then it goes Monday and Tuesday after that. So for people coming into town that might be curious about this conference, you can extend their business conference, come for ACL, stay for this. The conference is called Captivate. You can go to captivateconference.com. And it's not just about games. The other thing the term we now are using is Convergent Media. And it's really for all the people that have skill sets and interests in more than just one field. There are all the people that will have their game resume, but then they'll have their film resume and their music resume and their TV resume. And they may work in one field, but then all those other people don't talk to each other. Well, we want to do as much as we possibly can about how those things fit together and how you can be a professional, and really about using computers to make art and entertainment and pay the bills and build your business around that. So that's what that's going to be about. That'll be October 6th through 8th. And actually, if anyone wants to come to Austin during that time, we also have a call for speakers. You can go to the website and look at that up. So anything that's on your mind that you want to speak to people, we're expecting anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 people over the 3-day period.
Wow. Sounds pretty awesome.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
All right, Greg, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, right now, I'm just finishing up school, and I've been doing a lot of freelance for a group called Flying Squirrel Interactive over in Germany, making a bunch of Civil War era props for their upcoming unannounced game. So that's keeping me busy, but I mean, besides that, I've just been tooling away with school. But
Working on that escape?
no, actually, that fell through because
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Vaccaro, who works on The Last of Us, got onto A team, which is the crunch team, and so he just got a little time management issue, and everything just fell apart from there.
Yeah, I hear that.
So it happens. I mean, it's completely understandable, and I'm happy for him that he's able to work on something that he's been wanting to work on. So
I'm going to try to finish mine. Well, I'm going to submit it no matter where it's at, but
Okay, all right.
I think Lee's talking to somebody.
I'm getting told off. Don't stay up too late. All right, will do.
yes, Lee.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Rose.
I just got the finger point. That means I'm in trouble.
Well, bring her into the camera. She can wave at us. We'll actually have a woman on CrunchCast again.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? What are you up to?
What I've been up to? I've been working on a few projects. Mainly doing some help with like some sort of superhero. I wouldn't say Marvel, but superheroes. Doing some character assets for that, and I've been working on some personal projects. Just shaking some of the rust off because there are moments within the character pipeline where everything becomes very technical and you're not really doing art. So
That last end of the project where you just optimize everything.
yeah, right now I'm just optimizing and I'm just getting everything going, but it's not very artistic, unfortunately. So I don't really get time to sit down and make the pretty with like sculptures or paintings or anything of the sort. So, but it's been good. I'm looking to branch out into the field and see where the chips fall.
Right on. It's like the start of a project, man. You get to do all the fun art. No limitations. Just kind of go wild. Come up with some ideas. And at the very end of the project, optimizing particles.
Yep. It's pretty cool thus far. Just being able to get paid for doing art. It's a good feeling, and especially where your input's really valued. I think that's huge. That's immense, and I think every artist wants that sense of approval.
Oh, it's nice.
Where your work is actually like valued and everything. So it's really cool. But I'm going to also try some environments out, and I'm learning some Crysis. Not Crysis, but the Crytek.
Yeah, the CryEngine 3.
The CryEngine, yep. I'm going to go in there. I'm digging in, So let me get some props and everything and learn how you guys do it.
Right on. Hey, if you ever have any questions with that, you might be able to throw them by me. I can see.
Yeah, man.
I can tell you the basic stuff, like, okay, shift spacebar. Okay, the reason you can't select everything is because the layers are deactivated. Okay, that object's frozen. It's all the bullshit you run into with that.
Yeah.
Okay, the vegetation is a totally different system than everything else. You have to go into the vegetation system to select that.
I was wondering about that. I tried selecting the trees, and they weren't selecting.
Yeah.
And then I did a Google search for cannot select trees in CryEngine, and nothing came up.
Yeah, you got to go to the vegetation tab and activate it.
Ah.
How'd you find that out?
Who, me or him?
I think I asked Chris that question.
Yeah, Chris.
After I gave up.
Well, back when we got the engine to work with a couple years back, I think now. God, when was that? That sounds about right. Why not? We just got the engine, and we couldn't, for the longest time, we're like, how do you do anything? Then when we find one little thing, oh, here it is, and we yell it across the room, oh, there it is. And then when all those guys came out to give us the training from Crytek, that's when we really, oh, it's that button? Oh, it's that console command? Oh. It's really a lot of simple stuff. But until you know
Once you use it,
yeah,
I hear it's amazing once you get used to it.
Oh yeah, once you know, it's just there's so many features and so much high tech stuff in there that you really need to know a little bit, because it's just one of those open-ended engines where you can kind of, you say you want this style of game versus that style of game. You need to have these flexibility options, and you have it there, but that just makes more options you have to learn to deal with and say, oh, I have to do this to whatever, that kind of crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's really the same thing with every program, but it's a very advanced engine. That real-time lighting, man, can't go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a really, man, every time I see stuff that is pasted in there or posted in there, it's really something else, man.
Yeah, I feel like
some of the best lighting I've ever seen.
I feel like the next art thing I should do should be in that engine, just because it's so easy to get that lighting to look really nice, man.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that a few artists that I hang out with are doing, and it's. Do you know Scott Homer?
Yes, I do. I was about to mention Scott Homer's been making some
Yeah.
posts recently. You can probably find him on Polycount. He did like that car recently.
Oh, yeah.
A few other things, but yeah, he actually works at the Crytek in the UK, so he knows his way around it.
But he makes it seem so easy,
Oh yeah, man. Well, it's one of those kind of engines. As long as you don't have any technical errors in your art, it's gonna handle it nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's my only downside to the UDK is baking lighting, but that's not too bad. It's just makes the iteration process of lighting just a little slower. And if you got a big level, it makes it a lot slower.
So do you have to actually bake out your lights? Or
Yeah.
your light maps?
Well, it does do bake lighting. You can also do real time stuff too, but it's more expensive. I like those really nice baked shadows. It can look light mapping. Even though Crytek's like super nice real time lighting, baked mapping can still sometimes give you like really nice results that you can't get from something real time. Sometimes the shadowy artifacts are a nice thing. Cool little breaking shadow effect. But yeah. So hey Lee, you were talking earlier about some freelance style discussion.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at this pixel art thread.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like amazing. I just saw you tweet that, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I just saw it on. There's a new thread on Polycount. It's caps lock
Yeah.
pixel art. Snader started
Yeah.
it, but people have just been dumping in all kinds of stuff. And there's this one post that's just a bunch of pixel art tutorials, and they're just really nicely done.
Yeah, I bought a program Sven recommended to me.
Sven Rutner.
Yeah, it was for doing pixel art. It was, I forget what it was called.
Is that Mango Studio?
What was it called?
Mango Studio?
No.
Wasn't that one?
No. It was, and you could do animation with it too. Like keyframe animation. It was really, really sweet. See if I can find what it was called. But it was, that's what he uses to do all his pixel art.
I know
Anyway,
Tracy's
so
been using Mango Studio for his comic, that Coffee Outlaws thing.
Mm-hmm.
He likes that for that. Apparently the line work
Yes.
and coloring is really nice.
Yeah, it's a little bit better line work than Photoshop from what Sven has said. But I never got the chance to mess around with it.
Do any of you guys in Photoshop ever do something that's like, nice, or try to get nice line work or cartoony, but then you convert it to a vector, which really pulls that off, and you can kind of adjust a few lines here and there.
That pen tool.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Because I've done
No,
that a few
I've never
times,
done it
actually.
either.
I showed that to a guy. He was wondering about scaling something up, like taking a smaller resolution image, like a graphic, and scaling it up. I'm like, well, scale it up and then turn it into a vector. And then it smooths out all the lines. And it doesn't work in all cases, but it works pretty good.
Oh, this is it right here. It's called ProMotion, and yeah, they have this really great animation tool for doing vector art, and this is what he uses. And he was showing me all these really cool things you can do with it. Does animate with onion skinning, so you can move the character over and see what your previous frame was.
Oh, that looks pretty nice. It's an unfortunate name because it's just the word promotion. So good luck Googling that.
Yeah.
You'd be better off Googling, what is it? Cosmingo?
Yeah,
The company that makes it?
Yeah, I guess it's one guy that makes it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like one of
Apparently it's
those.
supposed to be a lot like Amiga Deluxe Paint, D-Paint, is what this says. If you're trying to make stuff on the Amiga 20 years ago.
Yeah, I used some Deluxe Paint back in the day.
Yeah.
Those good old days, huh? Amiga.
Hell yeah, drawing sprites in a DOS program. Like drawing animated sprites. I think back in the day, the easiest new like custom monster you could make for Doom is replacing the Kako demon with a floating eyeball monster. Because you don't have to do a lot of animations, you just kind of draw the eye from the front and kind of the quarter and the side and the back. You don't have to do like walking, stuff like that.
Because he just kind of floats and stuff.
Yeah. I think the most advanced character sprite I ever made in D-Paint it wasn't for Doom, it was for some other engine that was like that, but it was basically a hippie guy, like a guy in blue jeans and a t-shirt. Man, all those walk cycles, ugh, what a pain in the ass. Just glad you only had a few pixels to work with, that made it easier.
Nowadays, it's
Yeah, it was great
Crazy.
back in the day. You could create art that would inspire whoever was looking at it to fill in the gaps with their own imagination.
Oh yeah. A lot of the original Doom monsters were actual plasticine sculptures. They took
Yeah.
pictures
Really?
of it and posed, did all the animations, and then took that into Deluxe Paint or whatever. They might have had their own proprietary tool back then. I know Carmack used to make them, but yeah, then they'd paint them and touch them up. I think they still have some of the original statues in the offices. You can probably Google some pictures of them and find them. They're pretty neat. And I remember Kenneth Scott, before he worked there, he worked on a Doom mod called Hacks, like HACX, and he made a plasticine sculpture and did the same workflow they did. And it was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's all old school pixel art that wasn't that good, and then Kenneth Scott's work. Like every one of his pieces stuck out like a sore thumb of awesomeness. It's like, wow, look at this piece. It's totally not like the quality of everything else. It's just way better. But yeah, back to freelancing there, Lee. Lee's doing some freelancing right now.
Yeah, I've never done freelancing before. Actually, I'm really enjoying it. But that's the end of my speech. Well, no, Greg's freelancing too, aren't you, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Greg can join the conversation too.
Yeah.
And
Max
Joe
did.
is freelancing, right? Yeah, okay.
I've done some before. Right?
And then I'm sure Max has done lots of freelancing.
Oh, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
some
liar.
coming up soon.
I like certain things with freelance. Biggest thing I don't like is having to wrestle down your work every time your project ends. You have to really fight for your next job. It's kind of like hunting. If you were a caveman, you have to kind of go out and set your traps and track certain things down, and it's a big ordeal.
Yeah, I actually had the problem of I had nothing for 2 months, and then all of a sudden it was like boom, 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 boom all at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I had to choose which one was more important to do, and so that was and I was like, oh, do I want to do one of this? Oh, but I really this project's really cool. But oh man, I want to do this one. It was like which one do you choose?
Right.
Which one is which one can you keep for longer?
Yeah, which one's going to give you that paycheck?
Yeah, but also I look at it as portfolio too. Like which one can help my portfolio? When it eventually comes out, I can show it and say that I worked on this. Or which one doesn't see the light of day for 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and possibly the contacts you meet there. You do a good job, and the next thing you know.
Yeah.
Which one is worth more to you in terms of a positive experience, and which one would be able to take a no easier?
Right.
But yeah, probably mostly what is the project and how good is it, and what's the turnaround.
Yeah, like I said, in my situation, there was one where I could work for a week only, but it was a really amazing project, and then there was another one where it would be a month, and then there was another one where it was 2 weeks, and so I chose the one with the month just because it was more stable. The week one would have been awesome to work on, using some really fantastic technology, but it just wasn't worth it for a week.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, you get to work in the new Unreal, but it's a week.
You still in contact with those people, just in case?
Yeah. I see the guy at Beer Night all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Beer night.
Good local contacts.
Yeah.
Things can get a bit more personal then. You can I feel like you can really trust someone more, I guess. You're like, well, you're not some guy overseas. You're a guy that's right down the street, and I can bitch at you.
Hey, actually, I thought of just something just now. Let me throw this at you, because I was talking to someone from California, who was going to California, had been there and was moving out of Austin, and I was relaying something that someone else had told to me about how Austin will have, Austin has a problem. I don't know if it's unique, but big studios will have major layoffs. Well, they're big to begin with, and then their project doesn't need all those people anymore. So, it being a project, it ends. But what will happen is that we'll have job fairs in and around town, like very soon after, and even some will be sponsored by the companies. Whereas a friend of mine who had worked in California, the whole time she was saying how, the whole time she was there for 6 years and there were never any job fairs. Well, I told this to the guy that was moving to California, and he was like, well, I mean, there's E3 and GDC. And I didn't say this to her, but I'm thinking, that's what you thought GDC was? A friggin' job fair? That's a damn expensive job fair. I guess it is.
That's a little bit too much, man, for a job fair.
Right. I mean, if you're out on your ass, I mean, obviously you go there like any other reason for convention. You make contacts and you present yourself, and other companies are presenting themselves as employers, everything else. But it's also for professional development besides just having the job. So I think communities need something more than just one big conference.
Yeah.
Well, this year's GDC, I walked around the career pavilion, and it was pretty much like a meat market almost to me. When I was watching people, people were lining up around the block at the Riot booth. But then I discovered it was for a hat, so that wasn't. I guess that wasn't for fucking developers.
Not jobs, just hats.
Yeah, it was for some hat for League of Legends. I don't play League of Legends, so it didn't seem important to me.
Yeah.
But
Those fans are rabid.
yeah, but there was a line out around, and then yeah, it was interesting. Like just seeing, it was nice to see that some people had art directors, some people just had HR just collecting resumes. There was one guy. One guy on the Hangout during the day who actually who Blizzard I think was interested in him, so he actually got to talk to them directly, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice a lot of people, breaking out their laptops, and I'm thinking to myself, God,
oh no,
and invest in a tablet like a Nexus 7, $200 if you can afford it. I felt sorry for those people that had laptops because they were just breaking them out. Like there was one guy that came up to me as he saw I had like effects artist written on my badge, and he's like, "Hey, could you take a look at my work?" And whipped out his laptop, and I was just like, "Dude, you got to get a tablet or do something else because you can't carrying that around all day."
I still like a nice printed portfolio as well, but yeah, the tablet is definitely the way to go now. A printed one still looks nice, because it's still better than a laptop.
Well, I would think if it's effects, I don't know if you can print those out so well.
If you bring the laptop, I can alt tab over to your porn.
Yeah, all your My Little Pony fan fiction.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I know what you mean about GDC and those lines and.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I didn't get to go this year, but the Polycount party looked massive. I remember last year it was just a bunch of portfolio.
Yeah.
Sharing and talking about. And I remember, like at the very end, there was just some Crytek guys, and I think maybe some either EA or Epic guys were just hanging out there. And then there's a few straggler youngsters just like, please look at my portfolios, asking for advice from those guys.
Yeah.
But that's one of the best parts. You get the real hands-on experience there. You actually get to talk to the people that work at places, and that's how you get jobs. Some guy looks at your portfolio and goes, "Ooh, I like this stuff. Let's hire him." Also, he can really put down a beer.
Yeah. This was the hat they were going for. These things, I don't get these things at all.
Well,
it's
it was like a punching bag game. You got
Yeah.
or I did it. I got a little keychain.
Oh, okay.
Did
So
you
Max can tell us what is it. Did you win a keychain?
Yeah, it's like a little. It was that like spiky guy. Yeah, I don't play the game, but like it was like a keychain of that dude. That thing is like freaking dangerous. It is like all the spikes are super sharp, and it's just like awful. Like if you step on that, you'll probably die.
It looks like the blue shell from Mario Kart, so it looks
it
dangerous.
does, yeah. But it was funny because I was watching people with this hat on. Okay, who obviously stood in line for this hat. Did that punching game. They were playing the games in like the gaming area, and they put the hat down on the table next to them and start playing away. And then one guy I saw, like literally, he came rushing by and grabbed the hat out of the guy. Yeah, just snatched it. Yeah, and then this guy just dropped this controller and then ran after him, and it was like just
Ninja
you're
Loot.
gonna stand in line. Yeah,
Over a hat.
yeah.
Yeah, you stand online for that many hours, you can imagine.
Well, you go to GDC, you get all the way there. I understand, it's GDC, everyone's going to be promoting their stuff. But come on, dude, it's League of Legends. You can play that anytime. Literally anytime.
Yeah.
It is free.
That sort of goes along with that line of, you see people at some event or some show or something, and they're holding up their phones, looking at the screen instead of looking at real life. I think Louis C.K. does a bit about that in his new special, but Actually, he does. Where he talks about little like people. He went to his daughter's recital, and everybody's holding up their phones to film it, and he's like, "Look, just put your phone down. Look at its higher resolution." Yeah, you should. People need to live more.
Well, what needs to happen is that they need to just film it and tell all the parents, keep your phones and your cameras in your pockets. This will be on YouTube. Chill. We don't need a bazillion people holding their hands up during the conference. You can clap.
Then I want to get to zoom in on my kid's face.
And you're never going to watch it.
Right.
That's so true.
I'd say one of the pitfalls of freelance, beyond the fact that maybe you don't get a gig fast enough.
Coolest thing I see.
Whoa.
Robot.
What happened to Lee? Lee just chimed out there. Anyway, one of those downfalls to freelancing is you got to be careful about going stir crazy. You still got to get out and get human interaction.
Yes.
Yeah, my human interaction is polycount and hang out every day.
Those help. That's
Yeah, those
something. At
help,
least you're
yeah.
talking and hearing people, and sometimes seeing a
Yeah.
face, and also sometimes showing your face. So you at least have to make yourself somewhat presentable.
Yeah, or going to the mailbox is exciting.
Yeah.
Taking out the trash or
I know one thing that's affected me is adjusting to their time zone and having to work from their, being available during when they're awake.
Mhm.
And, being across country, it's like affected me here because I ended up staying up all night and then wanting to sleep during the day. But then I'm not as productive during, school. So then it's like, I'm fighting against these two to kind of balance out my sleep schedule.
Mm-hmm. So do you is Germany about 7 hours ahead then?
Yeah, I want to say it's 6
Germany?
or 7. Yeah.
For us, I think it's 8, and you're on the east, right?
I'm in Texas.
Oh, okay, well you're an hour ahead of me though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right then, because we had to do a lot of meetings with Crytek, and they're in Germany, so we had to be there. Either we would get in earlier, not early, like 10 a.m. is early, right, for game industry, and and they'd be staying late, or we'd do it one early where we'd have to do a call at like, I don't know, 3 a.m. or something.
Wow.
And that's just something that happened every now and again. I usually didn't have to do those. Those were mostly programmers dealing with horrible things.
Yeah. That's been one, I guess, struggle
Yeah.
with freelance. Another thing that I've always kind of been bad about is underpaying myself.
wow.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Yeah, you have to know what you're worth, man, because
Well, what ends up happening is, sometimes I'll do it by hour, or sometimes if it's like in my mind, it's a really quick prop or something like that. I'll do it just like a one-time bang, a flat rate. And then I get screwed because they're like, oh, we want you to change this. And then I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I make that decision to go flat rate when I know that they're going to always want some kind of iteration on it? So it's just making those smart decisions.
well, one of the things you could do is after a certain milestone of completion, you can still charge for those changes instead of it just being, an X amount of hours,
Yeah.
You can charge for the changes, or you can, find something that would work with you and your client. Maybe you can charge for the full project or whatever. But, a lot of artists will underprice themselves because they don't feel like their work is worth it. But when you really understand that, you've gone through school, you've bought your computer and the machinery that's inside the computer, the programs, your tablet, your travel back and forth. I mean, each of these has a cost, and you have to tally these things up. You can't just, you can cut corners or whatever else, but eventually the price is the price, and you have to be firm with it. Otherwise, you have to pay out of pocket, and you're stuck.
Yeah,
You're stuck holding the bill, And you don't want to be stuck holding the bill. So it's just find something that will work within your budget, and then, give it to them. And if they can't afford it, then
Pass
know.
it.
You got to be
It's
really
better
wary about taxes too with your money, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
when
that's
Yeah,
another thing is taxes.
like a lot of
Yeah.
people don't even know how much it's actually. But when you actually work somewhere, they take out taxes automatically when it's freelance or
Right.
something like that. You just get the money and then they don't take it out.
Mm-hmm.
And when that next year rolls around,
You get hit
if you didn't
hard.
save,
Yeah.
you have to save more than half of that,
Mhm.
or it
Yeah.
just goes away. I actually worked with a guy who didn't get it. Like, he didn't get that,
Mhm.
and so his IRS came after him, and they garnished his wages down to measly nothing for a long time.
Uncle Sam will take theirs, put away that money, because also for freelancers, you have to file quarterly.
Yeah.
If you're really doing that.
Yep.
Instead of, or I think sometimes you can file semi-annually, but I know it's definitely more than your typical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard the same thing. I've heard a comedian actually talk about that. He said that I was just listening to him on one of the shows. He did his taxes quarterly, but when you're a comedian, you're paid kind of like that. You're just like given money for each show you do, or performance,
Right.
or appearance, whatever. So there's no sort of salary thing like that at all. It's very much just like contract work.
And, when you don't have that money aside and everybody's buying their video games and going out with their friends and stuff, and then Uncle Sam comes for you. You'll get theirs, man. They will take they'll take their pound of flesh.
Mhm.
I remember the year I had to refinance my car loan to pay my taxes. That was not fun. At least I had the option.
Yeah.
There's one thing I think about freelancing people. Again, these are a bit more off topic, but more to your humanity is you really got to keep your place clean.
Mhm.
It's going to be so easy just to not, because you're sitting at home most of the day just doing art. It's real easy to let things go. It's real easy because your nose or your sense of smell only reacts to changes of smell. So if you're in a stinky room and it's progressively or slowly getting more stinky because you got like dishes or you just not cleaning up, you got some old laundry, whatever. And you go outside and you come back in and you go, oh my God. And those really horrible smells, even though you don't know they're there, you're breathing in these horrible rotten air smells, and it does affect you. It's one of the.
It will mess you up, man.
Oh yeah, it's one of those. It's very common in depression that there's rotting food in the home, stuff like that. I'm not saying it's a direct cause or anything, but it's
It contributes.
If you're if you feel like shit looking around your place, oh man, it looks so bad, then you're bringing yourself down. I'm trying my best to keep my place as clean as possible while I'm out of work, just to. It looks nice. I go into the bathroom. I'm like, man, it is clean in here. This is nice.
Yeah,
I kind of like that. Yeah, I'm like, wow, look at that. There's not shit all
like
over
you
the floor.
gotta spend
You know what? If somebody came over right now, that'd be fine. that really helps your mental
the
health.
litmus test, if you can invite someone over and not feel,
Yes. Could someone use my computer and I don't have to worry? Like those little things, they make me feel better. I like that kind of stuff. It's like that and exercise.
Yeah.
Because if you're not getting
Like,
out,
when it was indoor bikes, I love. But even just getting a bike in general it's worth its weight in gold.
Having a
Oh, yeah.
plant in the house too, if one that won't die, or even if you got a window box, you can grow like herbs if you want to, and use them for cooking, or even little flowers or something something else that you can look at and go, oh, that looks nice.
yeah, use an
It's something,
old egg carton for seedlings. Yeah.
something to pull you away from just doing it, because sometimes you won't notice that you'll be working for like 12 hours 13 hours. You know, you just be at the computer. If you don't get out, you don't do your daily routine, you know, you can burn yourself out when you're, you know, a week and a half into it, you know, 2 weeks into it, and you're just doing those hours, and you don't notice it go by until like one day. You just don't want to get out of bed, and you're just like, why that is, you know?
I had an 18-month freelance contract one time, and boy, I started going crazy on that one.
Yeah.
I had to get out a lot.
And when it's hard. It's definitely tough. But you set your own schedule and wake up whenever you want.
It's nice, man. I got up at a decent. I stayed up really late, but got up at a decent hour. Yeah, about 4 p.m. Took a nap. It was nice. Took a little nap. It's great.
See, I can't take naps because nap to me means 5 to 6 hour nap.
I could hit a 30-minute or an hour. I'm weird. I tell myself when to wake up. I just tell myself, I'm like, I'll sleep for about an hour, 30 minutes, and I'll just wake up. I don't know why.
No, it doesn't work like that. Marrows yells at me, get up, and I just ignore the crap out of her.
Get up, sleepyhead.
So, no, it doesn't work.
I believe it, dude. I believe it.
Yeah, I got really into the things like yoga and body weight exercises. Something I can do just right here on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's not too high. Something that's not too high impact, so it doesn't make a lot of noise. You can really work yourself out pretty hard with a few basic body weight exercises and stretches. Again, I always promote yoga. Like it's fantastic. Some of those holds when you get more advanced. And yeah, push-ups, of course. We used to do. I've been at plenty of companies where we started doing hourly push-ups. Like every hour on the hour, you do like this a set of push-ups. Doesn't have to be a lot. One of my buddies, Chad, who was on this CrunchCast before a couple times, when he started, he's like, I can't do it. I can't even do push-ups. I'm like, just do one.
Don't squeeze it out, brother.
Yeah, like don't even strain yourself. Don't even worry about it. Just do one push-up. And he's like, okay, I can do that. And within 2 weeks, he was doing sets of 20, easy, and congratulating me. He's like, I can't believe it. Thanks. This is so awesome. Your body actuates to stuff really fast. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're humans. We're adaptable. Once you start doing something, it doesn't take very long. And I keep a couple things at my desk now. I've got one of those rubber band cords, you know. It's good for doing some good stretches and stuff. Got a little hand weight over here, like a 20-pound weight. I got a foam roller, all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, it's really easy to just do some basic exercise, especially do some stuff with your like yoga's really good for like your wrists, get your flexibility. It helps fight carpal tunnel. Mm-hmm. Some even say yoga is a cure for carpal tunnel. Now, obviously, if you get really bad shape, it might not help you out so much, but just a few stretches here and there, man. Sure does help, especially with that computer posture.
Definitely.
And man, oh god, that's one of the most dreadful things when it comes to game industry jobs. When you see somebody you work with and they're like extremely hunched over, like shoulders all forward, ostrich walking and shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, what I could do with you, man. I could help.
Everybody here started straightening their posture.
Yeah, I see him.
You said that.
I can't believe I'm floating.
I knew this guy who had it so bad that if he just gave me 2 weeks, he would be 2 inches taller because he was just so slouched.
Man,
I think one of the best fixes I've seen for that, at least for your workstation, is just getting a standing desk. Or maybe
I've heard great things about that.
Investing in a desk that. Like,
I have a standing desk, except sadly now I am no longer.
What?
You're no longer what? You just cut out.
Yeah.
Using it.
what happened?
My foot got really messed up, and so I have to sit now for a little bit.
You can't win.
Yeah, so I'll be standing again soon, though.
How'd you do it? How'd you?
The thing is when I'm on the Hangout, I'd be chatting away, and then I would be standing for like 10 hours straight, and then so my feet eventually gave up and just like, okay, we need to take a break.
Yeah.
So, rule number 1 of standing up: always take breaks.
Always take a break from standing. Got
Yep.
it.
So this is pretty funny. My mom was here over the weekend visiting. We had a pretty packed weekend, did a whole bunch of fun stuff. But one of the things we did is we went to the gun show. Because out here in Denver, they have what's called the Tanner gun. It's one of the biggest ones. Now, obviously, she couldn't buy a gun because she had to have a Colorado State ID and all the background checks. Then she's going to carry it back on a plane. But, yeah, just having a look.
They have background checks for those shows?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
You could, it depends on that time of year, like how many are in the queue. My buddy, gosh, a few months back, he got a pistol and the background check was 7 to 9 days. Because the queue was
79?
7 to 9.
Oh, okay.
7 to 9 days. Because the queue for background checks was so huge. It was like 10,000 people ahead of him. Now,
Wow.
at a more recent gun show, the queue only took 30 minutes, so he's able to walk right out the door with it. But it just depends. Because, it was right after, Obama was reelected and everybody got all scared of gun control laws and ammo, so everybody started buying shit up like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But as the months passed, it's calmed down, so you can pretty much go in and get one. But of course, the background check is it's pretty strict. They don't just let people just buy guns. You got to go through all that shit. Yeah. Anyway.
Depends what state you're on.
Yeah, all the state laws are very different. Colorado is very pro-gun. I think Florida, you can just get a gun at a gas station with no check or something. I don't know, but no, she just. So when she was here, she got a special concealed carry belt that goes around the waist.
Mm-hmm.
It goes under your shirt. It's pretty nice. It's got all these extra. They advertise it as it can hold extra clips or magazines, and it's perfect for the iPhone. It's got a perfect little slot for your smartphone and your gun. It was a really nice device made in the USA. Only $20. So she picked it up and a few other things, but she just sent me a text. Just leaving Walmart. This belt works great. Because it's like midnight out there, and she's walking around Walmart for a pistol.
That's awesome.
But that's South Carolina, man. My sister carries a gun. My brother-in-law is military. Everybody carries a gun, and there's no crime. Because that's how it works.
Got a gun.
Anyway, I just gotta hit her back with awesome.
Awesome.
Do you own any?
Not right now.
Are you packing?
I guess outside of your arms?
Oh.
No, I've just
Outside
got
of those lethal weapons.
I've got an airsoft for now, just to use for targets, but I don't really own anything now. Since I had to move so much and had to deal with different state laws, I just it's not gonna.
Yeah.
So you have to register with each state that you move to, right? You have to register your weapon?
I believe so. I think again, it depends on where you're at, and there's a certain places where, like New York, a lot of gun stuff is just illegal.
Yeah,
So.
you can't carry.
Right. But in other places,
you
they're
can
just
own, but
yeah.
can't carry.
Other places, they're just super cool with it. They're just like, yeah, go ahead. Like some places, you have to have a concealed carry permit, and it's a weird thing. But yeah, America loves our guns. And I tell you what, man, you shoot a few, you will too.
Oh yeah, it's fun, dude. Shooting guns it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that thing.
There's nothing like it, for sure.
It's like you're holding an explosion in your hand that does nothing to you but kills whatever you point it at. That's pretty cool. It's one of the closest things to magic. Yeah, anybody got any more freelance advice they want to throw down? Or stories? Got any horror stories? Everybody loves horror stories.
Oh man, plenty. Too many.
Yeah.
I know, right?
The nature
I've
of
done-
free. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I've done work where you spend a good 2 or 3 months on a project and it never gets released.
That's
My only horror story is working for 40 hours a week for 8 months and getting a $5 check.
Dang.
Yep, I felt that one where I did about $15,000 worth of work as an illustrator, and I got paid $500.
Ouch.
I was like, yep, those student loans are not getting paid this month.
One of my earliest contracts, which I actually had a contract mailed to me and signed and all that, I just never got paid.
Man, goes to show you.
Wouldn't you be able to take that to like small claims court or whatever?
Yeah.
Or is it just not worth it?
Yeah,
Sometimes it's not.
it's only $2,000. And
I mean, if you're hurting for the money,
yeah, I was fine at the time. I was just a kid, so I was still living with my parents, and it was one of my earliest contract works. Actually, one of my first actually got paid $100, and I used it to buy a new modem because my modem was fucking up, and my dad was so proud of me. He's like, "Oh, look, my son got paid to draw something."
Yes.
I guess all that art class was worth something. And by art class, I just mean in high school.
oh yeah, I've dealt with one gentleman who, when we were about 5 weeks into the project, he just didn't want to continue with that design. And as a freelancer, you always have to iterate and show the changes before. So, when you're starting up a project, you show the sketches. After that, you show the value studies or your color studies. And then if they approve that I like the colors, I like the values, I like the composition, everything's signed and checked off. But once you get to a certain point, you're committed, you're focused, you're locked in. No, there's no going back. And he'll go in and it's like, I just don't like it, And it's like, hey, I thought we were in agreement like 5 weeks into this thing. Here you are, you're slaving away. You're doing 10-hour days, 12-hour days sometimes, just to get, the piece going. And you're wasting a lot of material. I mean, these oil paints are, $30, $40 a tube. And it's maybe the size of a toothpaste tube,
Mm-hmm.
And when they say, hey, you don't like it.
Yeah, you're paying for parts at that point.
Yeah. You're paying for parts. You're paying for the brushes. These brushes are $70. You're not. Yeah, they're expensive. All these things they have a cost, and it's, the wear and tear for that, and then of course, getting to the studio, the power. So when somebody does that, a client will waffle, if they weren't very sure in the beginning, and you got to watch out for that, when they waffle or they're not very,
yes, the iteration process of freelance is so important. You got to consider that in your contract, that if you say, changes have to be a part of the payment consideration. If you have to make drastic changes, well, then that means the pay grade goes up a little bit. And you can't just throw away stuff like that unless you're willing to pay for two things. Yes, it's exactly what you're saying. You can't just say, I don't like it anymore. Well, you can, but then you got to pay for two things.
Yeah.
The first one and the next one.
It's not like you can just, grandfather the old contract into the new one. No, you have to do it again. And it's not just. And too often, people believe that they can just, work you over and that, and you're like, no, you pay me what I'm due,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shit. Oh, it's so important, man. If John Jones was here, boy, I bet he'd be bitching up a storm about that stuff.
Lighting the fire.
Oh, and John Henderson snuck out.
Did he?
Yeah. I don't know if he left on purpose or not. I didn't hear anything. Or no big deal. Yeah.
I made a cat out of cubes and circles.
Doing God's work, Lee.
Yes, got my game. Yeah.
Expert modeler, fantastic references.
This guy is ready for the big times.
Yep. Got my airs in there. Ready to go.
I've heard a lot of dumb things said by different people. I used to work for a guy who would always say just the worst things he was one of the guys that he would always say the worst things at the wrong time every time. I remember one time when we were doing starting a new project, he said, for the concept of the new character thing, he goes, we don't have time for thumbnails, like the little mini silhouette sketches. You know, those first here, this took 10 minutes to draw 30 of these kind of thing.
Right. Why would they say that? That's like...
Because he's I don't know. I would just say...
Either that person must be amazing or stupid. It's one of those two.
Yeah, we're looking at the latter. You ever knew somebody that worked at really bad companies? Like, say, somebody that worked somewhere that was really shitty?
Yeah.
Or possibly really shady? Like, there was just bad news going on?
Mm-hmm.
And so, therefore, the only people they know that they've had managers above them were awful people. So all they know is to be an awful person. Like, if you beat your kids, they're going to grow up to beat their kids. That kind of thing.
Right.
So you look at somebody's resume and you only worked at these horrible places. And if someone can only tell you stories about horrible people they've worked with. They can never tell you the story about the guy who was so awesome and you strive to be like him because he was just it was an amazing leader, a great person, a good family man, took care of himself. He was the total package kind of guy. If you don't have one of those to say, man, that's how to be, and you got some just piece of crap telling you what to do, and you're always mad at him because he sucks. Well, that's what you're gonna be when you become a manager. Or the total opposite, because you actually learned. But unfortunately, this fella didn't really learn. So, but yeah,
shame.
That's just it's something you see. I've seen it so many times where a guy was like, "God, man, you kind of stink. Where did you work before here? Oh yeah, that place stinks. That makes sense."
Well said.
Oh yeah, I always look back to some of the guys shoot. One of the best guys I ever worked with was one of my leads back at Mythic named Ralph Thompson. Mm-hmm. He was a guy, he got up real early every morning because he had a daughter that was like a toddler, and he had to take care of her, take her to school. He had a wife, but had to take her to school, and then he'd come into work at 5:30 a.m. so he could work out. Mm-hmm. And he'd work out serious. Like, he's a stacked dude, And then he'd do his job, kick ass at it, be super nice, still be opinionated about things, still passionate about things.
Mm-hmm.
Worked, crunch when needed to be, but always had a good attitude about it. He'd always say, "Look, we know we're gonna have to do all this and this, so here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna come in on every other Saturday and get ahead." Like, he would plan things out to get us ahead, so we never really had to crunch bad. But he was always super nice about it, and you always wanted to be around him, so it was cool. And that's the kind of guy I'd like to strive to be. He was just so good and nice and took care of himself, like a total package kind of game developer. Like, it's somebody you can really respect. You don't get those all the time.
There are very few of them. Because it's just one of those jobs that demands so much attention to have the energy to, of course, do all the other things and be dedicated. It's definitely, more than a above average human being, at that point.
You wanna sit there and do your art. You don't want to have to deal with people. You don't want to have to go into meetings and stuff. You just want to do your art because that's what you love. But you also have to be able to do that and then express yourself to other people. And again, he's just another one of those cases where he was really good at art. So he would set a standard for the people below. He would, you wouldn't just crack a whip behind you. He was leading the charge.
In the trenches.
Yeah, I think that's so important. Like, it's always the worst when you have a lead or someone above you that doesn't understand your job. Oh God. I mean, I've had producers over me before that just didn't know anything, didn't understand Max or Photoshop, or you know what I mean? And come on, man, how can you tell somebody what to do
if you don't know how to do it?
If you don't even know what's going on, yeah. I feel like you gotta at least understand.
Break in, yeah.
Or you have a guy who tells you what you're supposed to do. Like, I don't really understand anything about programming. So I would want a good programmer that I know is good and I could trust, who could take care of that for me. I mean, I still obviously give him the task that needs to be given, but you gotta find someone that you can really trust and do the job.
No, definitely.
So hard to find these trustworthy people.
They do exist, right? I'm just curious.
Gosh.
Ideally, the people on your team are the right man for the job, because they're the ones there. It's their job to do what they're supposed to do, but...
And if not, you gotta make do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is... To replace somebody,
It's rough. It's hard.
if you got a massive deadline, you don't have time to replace somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You either gotta
And ramp them up and do
Yeah.
all that, yeah.
retrain them on all the tools. Oh. It's not gonna happen. That's months of... Yeah, there's the wonderful sides of making video games. Anyway, it feels like we could probably wrap this up if you guys want to. We're rolling up around that 90-minute range, so...
Yeah, sounds pretty
Yeah, my cat game doesn't work, so let's roll up.
Ah, shucks.
I was watching you.
I made a. Yeah, the cat doesn't move anymore now. What the hell? Come on now. Oh
That sucks,
god.
man.
Yeah, I set up the cat to do the same as the box, but then the cat's head got somewhere. I don't know. He left. It doesn't work anymore. Oh wait! Oh!
shucks.
What
what?
the hell?
It's flying away.
All right, the cat he's gone. He's gone. I don't know what the hell.
Those of you with just the audio there, Lee has made a box model of a cat in Unity,
Yeah.
and it was just... Oh, it's attached to the camera?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just floating around the screen now. It's
Super cat.
silly.
All right.
It's silliness.
I'll release it as that downloadable content at the on.
Nice. Is that a day one DLC?
Yeah, day one. Yeah, as the second DLC, he'll actually get a head.
Nice. The third DLC is a collection of hats, I hope.
Yeah.
Everybody wants hats.
Everybody loves hats. Hats make money.
Meta store for cat backgrounds.
Yep.
But yeah, so it seems like we could probably wrap this up now. Anybody got anything in particular to promote? That's a big no.
Websites, people. What's your website?
Yeah, you can always... cheap plug. Well, I'll say, yeah, you can always find all these episodes on YouTube, Vimeo. You can follow the CrunchCast on Twitter. We have crunchstudios.com. That's the main hub site. We've got all the videos there. We got the MP3 downloads, the links, and all that crap. I've also started recently putting together a few new tutorials. I did 2 UDK tutorial videos this week on YouTube,
Heck
Yeah.
yes.
and I started a
yeah,
blog.
Yeah, that's pretty. I was watching your tutorial on reflections. That was really good.
I want to take some of the basic things that either I always run into having to do, or I see the question a lot. Because, I like when people do really advanced tutorials and stuff like that. That's cool, but I'm on the UDK forums and stuff, and I see all the same questions over and over. So I like to try to hit those really basic things, because they're a nice short video you can do really quick. And whenever the question comes up again, you go, here.
What's nice about yours is they're super clear and to the point. They don't give you all that run around.
Oh, I don't do any of that. I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, if I'm looking at a video tutorial for anything, and the video starts with your goddamn desktop, you can just go right back to hell.
Oh.
That video, it starts with action. We're seeing what we're looking at. Okay, all right, here's the final product. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the steps to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, the end. There you go. You got it.
2 minutes, bam.
Bam. I'm not here to screw you around. Yeah, what I do with the videos is I'll record my videos, just the video itself. And as I'm recording it, I'll kind of blah, blah, like fake talk over it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
and I write down the talking points as in the actual things, like scene, reflection, cube, map, actor, like all that bullshit. I actually write those down on a text file, and then I tighten the video up as tight as I can get it, and then I just hit play and record my audio.
Voiceover. Yeah.
And the video is going so fast, I'm at a frantic pace talking to just get all the points out as quick as possible. And that's how I do my vids. I don't like the idea of recording it and talking at the same time, because you get there with the ums and the and the how do I do the oh, hold on, that's the wrong thing. Let me do the
Click.
I really like Call of Duty, so like and favorite.
Yeah.
I am guilty of trying to record it like on the work.
Why?
It doesn't work.
It's a pain in the ass.
Because you make a mistake and then you're like fuck. And then
you got to stop the video and redo the
Yes.
video and
Yeah.
the audio. You gotta break that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to break it up, get my little talking points over here on a text file. Yeah, that's my refrigerator. That's the ice maker. It's filling up with water.
Nice.
Later, I hear it go.
Another reason why editing is so awesome. With,
Yeah, the sounds come. Yeah, I always do things like I cut off my air conditioner or heater, and I make sure to close my door. There's nothing worse than having your door nice, my screen door. Which, the door's open, it's nice, got the nice weather. An ambulance is driving by.
Whoops.
There's some dog barking in the background.
There's always some dog barking in the background. Somewhere, you know?
It's just in your mind.
No, that is one of the nice things I like about the Hangouts, when you do like a public hangout and you get somebody from some third world country internet cafe, and you just hear all this traffic and people and animals in the background. It's just an open air internet cafe or something. Those are always
Love it.
fun. But yeah, I started a little blog, chrisholden.net/blog. Wow, keep it really difficult. And one of the partial reasons I made it was because I did a book review for a UDK book, and I needed just a place to post it. I also posted it on Amazon, which I felt like kind of a shithead, because I read the book and I followed the steps for a few of the projects, and I was like, this is great, this is fine, this is great, good job. And then all the other Amazon reviews were the same way. There were people that were given the book ahead of time to give a review, and everybody just shit it all over the book. But me, I was like, this book's good. I don't know what these guys are talking about.
You know what? The same people came to me and asked me if I wanted to read the book, and I was like, no.
That's cool.
Yeah, they offered like
No.
like free tutorials, I think it was, if you read the book. And I was like, I went on the website and I was like, no, your tutorials, they don't interest me at all.
Yeah. Well, he just gave me an advanced copy of the book, and I didn't mind. I was like, cool, why not? You know what I mean?
That's cool. Yeah.
And I was just like, sure, why not? Sounds fun. And I was really surprised at all the Amazon reviews. These guys were like 1 star and 2 stars. Like, everybody just took a crap on it. But I'm not sure they knew what they were talking about. You know?
Oh, like you kind of feel like they were not really reading the book. They were kind of like, just like, oh, this UDK is junk. We should just give it as 1 star.
When you preempt your review, if I've worked with Unreal Engine a little bit, blah, 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 I'm like, did you really? What? How many? Like,
All those reviews are actually just me.
I mean, I've actually worked in the engine at a studio, and I've worked with Unreal Engine since Unreal 1.
Oh man, going back in the day.
You're old.
Yeah.
Going back to like
Zero
98.
qualification.
Yeah, I just question. I'm reading some of these reviews. Just the way they were written just didn't seem like they really understood game development, or there was a piece of information the book didn't have that they said this should be in here, and they just they just low starred the book, even though it's just a solid book of tutorials. Like somebody posts a tutorial that gives you accurate information, right? Mm-hmm. How do you hate that? Unless the guy's just being a shithead, like stumbling over words, and like I said, like an 8-minute video that should be 1 minute long. Like one of those deals, but someone that just says, like, just the facts, ma'am, tutorial. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you dislike that? I mean, you just gotta be an asshole. It's like someone shows you a video of how to change a tire for your car, and it's specific. And oh, great, now I know how to do it. You don't go, fuck that guy. he helped me out. 1 star. Boring. Z's. Yeah, I just think they should have been nicer. It wasn't a bad book. Anyway, I think that's it. Anybody got anything else?
All right, the cat game is ready.
Woo. Oh, jeez.
Oh, what?
It moves. Oh yeah, ready? Oh damn it! It did move. There we go. Up.
I've not seen
Yeah.
There's nothing happening on your screen.
Yeah.
nothing
Oh
else.
really? Damn it.
Oh, it might
All
just
this
be.
for nothing.
It might just be too laggy or something.
Oh well. You lied to me.
Oh well, I'm just
There
gonna.
we go.
I'm gonna stop this episode now.
All right.
All right, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. Hopefully we can get more regular here. Now that we've had all these crazy things pass. That's the idea, right? Get back to weekly or bi-week or every 2 weeks, something like that. We'll see what happens. And everybody Facebook and tweet John Jones to get off his ass and do another
Stay
podcast.
up late.
Yeah. It was gonna be early tonight. Anyway, thanks everybody.